Mondy,
I love
what's
my
up,
brother
man?
in Christ. What's up?
We are back. We're back.
We are.
What do we got? What do we got? News, reviews, updates, tidbits, factoids, all that good shit. A lot of things to
Do.
discuss.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
seems like
yeah.
every time we release a news pod, there's like 50 more things to discuss right after that, which is very frustrating. But that's okay. We're here for the
Yeah.
people, so let's do it.
We sure are. We sure are. That's the nature of the game. Let's get into stuff that's in development, stuff that's about to come out. Um, ESPN has greenlit a 30 for 30 on the legendary Stuart Scott. Is this something that you would be interested in watching?
Yeah, Stuart Scott was kind of like the first guy that I really remember like knowing and watching on ESPN, especially. This was like before the Stephen A's, even before like the Skip Baylesses, or like the Scott Van Pelts or anybody on TNT. Like it was always Stuart Scott. So, absolutely. Obviously he had that battle with cancer and he passed. Um, Geez, I think it's been like 8 years at this point. But yeah, man, for sure. I think this would be a good doc, a super interesting watch. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, the 30 for 30 is always really, really good.
They
Um,
are.
a Jim Henson documentary will release on May 31st on Disney Plus. This is directed by Ron Howard. So for those who don't know who Jim Henson is, he's a pretty big deal. He's like the puppet lord, the puppet god. He's made all the Sesame Street costumes. He's made the Muppets. He even helped with Yoda on Star Wars. It's so funny because I used to work as a mascot at the Coca-Cola Museum as the polar bear, and they made a point to say in my training every day, "This is a Jim Henson puppet. This is over $100,000 now. This is the real deal."
Mm.
So I was like, okay, Jim Henson, whatever. But yeah, do you know who Jim Henson is, and could this possibly pique your interest?
No, never heard of him. So
Okay.
this doesn't pique my interest at all. I never, it's funny. I was also a mascot back in my day. I was the Chuck E. Cheese man himself. So
It wasn't Jim Henson though, was it?
yeah, I guess not. If it was, they didn't give a fuck enough to tell me. So yeah, no, I don't care about this. Sorry.
Invincible has been renewed for seasons 4 and 5. This is pretty expected, but I'm happy. I
Yeah,
honestly don't. I have no idea where the story could possibly go from here.
you
After just
don't.
watching season, I mean, obviously the whole Viltrumite thing, but like,
I was about to
can
say,
they
what do you mean?
can they draw that out for seasons and seasons? We'll see, or will there be another
Oh,
big arc after that? I'm not sure, but I'm here for it. I'm excited. What are your thoughts?
yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like, look, obviously I'm excited, even though I do think that Invincible season 2 was a step down from season 1. I still think it was really good. And I think that the longer this show goes on, honestly, I think it's to its detriment. But I do think season 3 and maybe even a season 4 is warranted. And I'm absolutely here for it. So we'll see. I just hope that it doesn't get the Walking Dead treatment where it's just this like this just redundant thing. But yeah, look, season 3. There's only been 2 fucking seasons. I'm not burnt out of the show yet, so absolutely, let's do it.
Same here. Those are seasons 4 and 5 that got renewed. Fallout has been renewed for a
Jesus.
second season at Prime Video. Fallout review will be coming later on in this podcast. Stick around for that. Have you been hearing about this show, or do you plan on watching it? Thoughts?
I have heard about this show. I've never played the video game, so the show itself didn't interest me. I've heard that. I mean, I think that the show is getting like universal love, so that's good. But that doesn't make me want to watch this, honestly. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, Fallout fans, season 2 is coming, which the end of season 1 definitely teased the second season. A Heroes sequel series is in the works. Remember the show Heroes?
This is interesting. Of
It's
course,
going
I
to be
do.
titled Heroes Eclipsed. The series is set years later, where new Evos are being awakened and discovering powers that will change their lives forever. So I never watched Heroes. It seems like a show I'd probably love, to be honest, just because I love superpowers and
hmm
stuff like that. But I
hmm
assume you did. And what are your thoughts on this news?
Yeah, no. So my mom watched this show. She absolutely loves this show. This was Zachary Quinto before he was in fucking Star Trek or anything else. So he was the main bad guy in this. Um, it's so funny. I never really got into the show. I think I may have watched an episode or two, but my mom loved this goddamn show. Like this was around the time like everything was coming on like the CW and like that kind of TV. So it was Smallville, it was Charmed, it was Dexter. Like it was all these like these TV shows that she would watch. And I mean, she texted me about this, which is hilarious. Like she's like, did you know there's another Heroes coming out? I was like, what the heck? So yeah, I mean, I personally I'm not excited, but like I'm excited that my mom is getting something that she loves back, and I know that this show does have a huge fan base, so I wonder if Zachary Quinto is going to return, but maybe he can't. Maybe he died. I literally have no idea. So, yeah, he's probably way too big for the show now. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. The Godzilla MonsterVerse show Monarch: Legacy of Monsters has been renewed for a second season on Apple TV. Also, it's been reported that multiple MonsterVerse spinoff shows are now in development at Apple.
Interesting.
How is my only question? I mean, I get it's doing successful at the box office, but I feel like I was the only one that watched Monarch season 1. Like, I haven't heard a
You are.
single other soul on the planet say, "Hey, I watched this show. Here are my thoughts on it, whether it was good or bad." I thought it was okay for what it was, but I just, like I said, how? But Apple has all the money, so it makes sense. Apple and Amazon have all.
Yeah, I think this is just them trying to get original content and then realizing that they have something with this Godzilla MonsterVerse shit. It is weird though, because I mean, I'm not gonna say nobody watched it, but
Nobody watched that shit but me.
I mean, like I don't even know a lot of people that have Apple TV, so it's just, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where I guess they have some type of numbers that's telling them that somebody's watching this shit, and it's enough to where they're like, we got them, and we're gonna build out a universe. So, yeah, shout out to them, I guess.
Interesting, man, and the whole other spinoff shows thing is very interesting as well. And I wonder if Anna Sawai will come back, because from Shogun,
Shogun.
um, uh, Mariko, because she's like the lead in season 1. So I wonder if she's too big now to be coming. Well, I mean, she's not. I mean, I don't know. She's on the rise for sure, but I wonder if she'll come back for a second season, because that'd be interesting.
They got to get her now.
Yeah, not like right now. Aang, The Last Airbender is the title of the upcoming animated Avatar film. First they had like a date of like October 2025. It got pushed back to, I believe, now January 2026. Dave Bautista will voice the villain in the upcoming Avatar Last Airbender film. So I'm excited to see Aang and the group grown up on the big screen. This is gonna be such an event for me. But what are your thoughts on this news?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to talk about the castings after this, but
okay, yeah, I mean, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, look. Obviously, there's not much to say about a live. I mean, a new adult animated Avatar. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, be there opening night. Blah 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 blah. We love the show. Blah. To me, yeah, the news more so is all of the castings that they tried to. And look, and first of all, guys, I want to be the first to say that a lot of these castings did not come from like a real verifiable source. This is just some like ridiculous fan page that could just be trolling. The only ones that I saw from a verifiable source was Batista and the guy who's actually playing Aang. Literally everybody else I didn't see come from a verifiable source. Now, with that being said, I still have something to fucking say. Go ahead.
Even the Dante Bosco doesn't come from a verifiable source either.
I didn't see it come from a verifiable source. No.
Okay, I thought it did.
But I mean, yeah, okay, so yeah, let's touch on Dante Bosco first. Apparently, he's going to be the only one from the OG cast returning.
Right.
Apparently, he's the only one that sounds like he could be an adult version of the character. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
I thought it's only because he's the only one that actually has the Asian representation, and they're trying to lean into having all their voice actors actually have that Asian representation.
Okay. Okay.
All the
cool.
previous voice actors were white.
Yeah, you're probably right. Look. I've already said that Dante Bosco is one of the GOATs in the voice acting world, so I honestly just didn't even go there with that. But you're probably right, because again, none of the rest of these people that I'm about to say are confirmed, but apparently they actually casted a blind person for Toph. How's she supposed to fucking read the script?
Braille?
Huh? How? Braille? She can't fucking read, bitch. Anyway. So look, they also supposedly have Native Americans playing Sokka and Katara, and I think there was one more that was just leaning into the pandering of, we need to have these geological correct characters for voice acting. But it's just so weird. It's just so weird because white people play different characters all the time. Black people play different characters all the time. And if that wasn't the case, then there would just be no opportunities for anyone. But again, hopefully that's just not the case, and that's just not true. And I guess we'll find out once there's official news. But very, very interesting, politically correct, dare I say, typecasting going on, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But hopefully, if this is true, these are the best people for the role, and they're going to kill it. That'll we'll have to see. But I would have liked to have seen the original cast brought back. To me, it doesn't make much sense. Most of them were children, if not preteens when they recorded. They're obviously older now. They why not just put them back in the roles? But whatever. So yeah.
I hear you and I feel you. I'm just excited to see Chinstrap Aang back because those little flashbacks we got of him briefly in Legend of Korra are just so cool. And
Yeah. You
I
know
love
what?
his little chin strap too. But yeah,
While I'm on this thought of Avatar, The Legend of fucking Korra. Holy shit.
hold on, don't do a review because we're doing a Legend of Korra pod. So don't do.
We're not.
Why
That's
not?
why I'm talking about it now.
Why
Listen
not?
to me. Listen to me. Listen to me, Mondy. Now, I have it's well, what I'm going to say is actually funny to me. It probably won't be funny to you or anyone else, but I watched the show when it debuted, when it came out. I was very excited for it. I was in love with season 1. I remember not being the biggest fan of season 2, and I remember falling off in season 3. But I didn't really remember why, because again, that was 10 plus years ago. I mean, it came out 2011, I believe. So, I was excited for the rewatch. I loved season 1 all over again. I was like, wow, this is so fun. The writing is so good. Um, I'm invested in these new characters, this new world, this new style of bending. And season 2, I was just like, whoa, that was a fucking slog to get through. That really wasn't fun. There were cool bits of lore, obviously, with the Avatar 1, the Rava, the Unalaq, cool, right? But the overwhelming majority of the Spirit book was just garbage to me. And then here we are in season 3 again, and I'm just burnt out of the show again. I feel like I'm in the same exact spot I was in last time. Why I stopped watching it. Zahir and his band of misfits, they're cool, but I just don't care. I don't care about their random plan for the Avatar. I don't care that Sahir is going to fly. I don't care that they're going to kill the Earth Queen. I'm just burnt out, and I think the main reason is because Korra, and it's so crazy because I feel like I had these exact thoughts last time. Korra is just not fun. She's not, man. She's draining me personally to where I don't want to watch the show anymore. Mako and Bolin just don't matter. Yeah. Most of my problems lie with Team Avatar. It's hard to not compare to what we saw previously. Obviously they're in the same universe, but man, the gang was just so much more interesting, all of them. Whereas here it's really only Korra, and she isn't that interesting, at all. I will say a brilliant surprise has been Tenzin, Bumi, Kaya, and Tenzin's kids. They're fucking hilarious. I love their interactions together, but I'm not getting enough of that. And unfortunately, I don't want to watch the show anymore. I'm kind of done with it. I watched the first 2 seasons in 3 days, and looking back, that may have been a mistake because that caused some burnout because season 2 was just not fun. I was kind of just pushing through so I can just get through it. And then again, I'm pretty much done with season 3, but I'm not having fun with it anymore. I'm just not. And I'm not one of those people that's just gonna slug through it just for the sake of slugging through it. I know how it ends. And I will say it is pretty funny that all of a sudden Korra and Asami are spending all this time together. They have all these scenes together, whereas in the first 2 seasons they barely interacted. But in the start of season 3, all of a sudden they're buddy copping on every mission. But whatever. Anyway, yeah, I tell that to say I'm done with the show. I'm not having fun. I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't want to do a review on the show. Um, yeah, I've said my piece. I
Right.
said my truth, as you say.
That's fair. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants is releasing in theaters December 19th of next year. The film will follow SpongeBob as he travels to the depths of the ocean to face the ghost of the Flying Dutchman. So we getting more SpongeBob on the silver screen. Have you outgrown SpongeBob, or does this matter to you at all?
Yeah, I have, unfortunately. And I'm pretty sure that we talked about this. Like the moment. Like I was like, I'm too old for this. It was the second SpongeBob movie. Like whenever that was 10 years ago, me and Avi went to go see it in the theater. The first 30 minutes, we both looked at each other and we was like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like it was us and like 45-year-olds. And we were just like, what are we doing here? Um, yeah, it's another one of those things, man. Like it just wasn't fun anymore. Like there was no joy in it. And yeah, yeah, is I wasn't the target audience for that film. And I don't think I'm going to be for this one either. So yeah, I'm going to miss this.
Yeah, honestly, I think I've also outgrown it, but I'm gonna just check it out because just to hope for that like nostalgia, just to feel that nostalgia because SpongeBob was a big part of my childhood. So
Hmm.
hopefully it can recapture that. If not, then I missed out and I just made the wrong decision. But I'm willing to take chances on
I
something like
mean,
that.
there's like what, 4 SpongeBob movies that have gone to the theater at this point. So I mean, have you
Four?
seen
Wow.
all of them? I'm pretty sure
Uh,
there is. Yeah.
no, the only one I saw was the first one, SpongeBob movie, which was actually really great. But I haven't seen
Hmm.
any of the other. I didn't see the one in
Goofy
3D.
Goober.
I didn't see the 3D one. I didn't know there were the other ones besides the 3D one, to be honest. So.
I'm pretty sure there's 4 total. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's 4. But whatever.
The live action One Punch Man movie is moving forward. Rick and Morty writers Dan Harmon and Heather Ann Campbell are now writing the script. Justin Lin, director of Fast and Furious 3 through 6, 9, and 10 as well, and Star Trek Beyond, is still set to direct this One Punch Man movie, live action. This thing is moving forward at full steam. They have a director, they have writers. Like, what are you thinking over there?
It sounds like they believe in it, so that I mean that's something. I mean, typically, especially with anime, people over here in the West just like don't want to touch it. Oh shit! So the fact that they seem to be getting their shit together at a quick pace is good news to me. Uh, I still don't have any confidence that this is going to translate at all, but maybe it will. I mean, I know that the comedy will because One Punch Man is, in my opinion anyway, it's a great starter anime. Like for people that don't know what anime is or don't watch anime, or maybe have only other seen like Dragon Ball Z or something, I think that this is like one of those really good ones that you can start off with that'll get you into other things. Um, so yeah, I mean, the action is always going to be like the ridiculousness. Like, how are they going to like pull that part off in a live action format? But then again, it's just him just punching a nigga once and then them just exploding. So maybe they can do it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited though. Yeah, I mean for sure. I'll be there opening night for this.
A scary movie reboot is in the works. Um, I think this is actually really excellent. I think there's a lot to draw from in terms of the modern landscape of horror films with fucking
Mhm.
Blumhouse. Oh my god, and all these other horror movies. Many
Yeah.
people on social media have been clamoring to bring Regina Hall and Anna Faris back. I don't think those people understand what a reboot is. It's not. This is something that's completely different, guys. This is a whole new take on the universe of scary movies. So I
Mhm.
agree; those are legends in the scary movie, pantheon. But they wouldn't serve a reboot well to have those two back, in my opinion. But
They'll probably have a
well,
cameo.
hopefully, or maybe Marlon Wayans get a cameo. But what are your thoughts on the scary movie reboot?
Look, man, I feel like I've been the only one that's been on this train for like years now. Like I've been like, where are these parodies? Like where like it seems like the Wayans brothers were the only ones that wanted to do them. Like they did Scary Movies 1 and 2. They did A Haunted House 1 and 2, both which were fucking fantastic in my opinion. Like I feel like a lot of people just didn't see A Haunted House 1 and 2, man. Both of them are absolutely hilarious. So I'm glad that this is coming back. Like I hope that they actually try though, because there was a point in like 2005 to 2010 where it was just getting ridiculous, where it was hero movie and dog movie and scary movie and
Epic movie. I still have a soft spot in my
epic
heart for
movie.
epic movie. I love epic movie.
Yeah, like okay, like at that point, yeah, they were all pretty much garbage and they all deserved to fucking die. But
Remember Meet the Spartans?
I do, yeah. Jesus Christ, yeah. I'm ashamed to say that I think I saw pretty much all of those actually. Like,
Same.
I don't think I enjoyed a single one. I'm trying to think, like, was there? You know what? I will say,
Epic movie was pretty good. Like that's like the Narnia kind of retelling. But I don't know if you ever watched Chronicles of Narnia. Oh, you did? Okay.
Don't recite the dark magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. You talking about it?
Okay.
The fuck?
I also enjoyed the superhero movie with Drake Bell as the Dragonfly. It's stupid, but I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, look, I say all that to say this is a good thing. I hope that like they can get people that have actually done this or people that loved the originals to get in there and to make something special, because like you said, there's a lot of content. I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a parody of John Krasinski's, what am I blanking on? A Quiet Place. Or if they just do Halloween, like, you know, like the original was based off of Scream, which fit. It was hilarious, like it was easy. So let's do Halloween. It's probably the most iconic, horror franchise of all time. So it could be easy. Like and like there's so many jokes that you can do with that. So yeah, I'm here for it, man. I'm actually very excited for this.
As a scary movie fan, would you rather a reboot or would you just rather a Scary Movie 6? Would it be?
I would rather a reboot for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the Scary Movie, and look, like it's so funny because Scary Movie 3 gave us Kevin Hart, like which is hilarious. I mean, obviously he was in Soul Plane before that, but like the wider audience, didn't see Soul Plane. I feel like only the niggas did. And I think Scary Movie 3 and 4 both have scenes in them that are very, very funny. But Scary Movie 5 with Ashley Tisdale can go to fucking hell. That shit was garbage. Yeah, there needs to be no more scary movies unless the Wayans brothers are involved, which they're not going to be. So, yeah, reboot completely. I'm cool with it.
Also, star of Scream 5, Scream 6, and Abigail, Melissa Barrera has campaigned, I believe, or not campaigned, but stated that she wouldn't mind leading the scary movie films, which I think would be really cool, considering how she got fired from Scream. So, I'd be here for it.
Like I said, the jokes write themselves, man. Absolutely, put her in. I would love to see it.
Speaking of scary movie, Smile 2 follows a pop star and how the curse spreads amongst her fans. So we're going on a whole different route for the sequel to the Smile movie. I don't think you ever saw the first Smile, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So yeah, guys who are interested in this Smile Part 2, that's kind of the basic plot. Pop star, curse spreads amongst her fans. A Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover movie is officially happening. They teased it in the post-credit scene at the end of Rise of the Beast. My entire theater, y'all should have just heard it off. Like, we were like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, I've never felt a community of confusion before. Like, it was just so funny. But anyways, this is actually happening, guys. So, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe, I don't know the niggas' names, Ripcord, whatever the niggas' names are. They will be teaming up with our favorite Autobots.
Henry!
Right.
Yeah, sure. If this does not entail one of them getting into the Autobot like a Megazord, then what are we even doing? Like, what is the actual point of the Autobots and these random military niggas who we've seen in literally every Transformers movie, by the way, be in like a franchise together? So yeah, I want to see like complete Megazord action. Like I want him inside controlling it. And
I think that's not how Autobots work. We know that.
I don't care.
Autobots
I'm going to suspend my disbelief. No, they're not. I'm going to suspend my disbelief.
They are sentient people. You can't be inside of them.
Yeah. This is oh wow. This is kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. Yeah, like you. I think I was the only one that actually said something in the post-credit scene, but I was just like, wait, what? Like, what? Like, what? I was already upset that I had sat through that entire fucking movie, and then they get to the end of this. I'm just like, there's no way that they actually mean.
They say, we want to recruit you to this little special operation. Ever heard of G.I. Joe? I said,
Oh
"Oh my
God.
god, that's crazy."
Yeah.
Actually, but to be fair, I actually do enjoy the live action like G.I. Joe movies for what they are. Like I don't just like, oh my god, I'm craving a revisit for that movie. But like The Rock when he did part 2, I think it's a fun movie. That mountain scene when all the ninjas are fighting is really really cool. That's when we first saw the girl who played Elektra in the Netflix series Daredevil. She's really good in that movie. They're fun movies, man. But I can't say that I'm waiting for this. Like it's whatever. A sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's is officially in the works. It's no surprise. That was the biggest horror movie of the year last year. Surprisingly to me, even though I enjoyed it more than most people, it seems like. This is inevitable as well.
Yeah, seems like you enjoyed it, but looks like the hardcores did as well. So, sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Five Nights at Freddy's fans.
Rihanna is voicing Smurfette and creating original music for the Smurfs movie coming out in February of next year. So it takes a Smurf movie to get new Rihanna music. Fuck it, whatever. The Smurfs movies, I've actually never seen them. I know they were like a big deal, like the early, like the mid 2010s. But now they're coming back. So, have you ever seen any of the Smurfs movies?
No, the
Okay.
Smurfs was old when my fucking mother was a little girl. So, no, I don't care about the Smurfs.
Okay. Speaking of artists attached to things, Kendrick Lamar and South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone have an upcoming musical that comes out on July 4th of next year in theaters. It follows a black man interning as a slave reenactor at a history museum where he discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his ancestors. So that on the surface seems horrible, but because Kendrick Lamar is attached to it, I have to assume there's got to be something there, and so I will definitely be here to see this. What are your thoughts on just that little brief synopsis?
When you say something there, you mean you expect something more than just that basic premise?
Well, yeah, I expect Kendrick Lamar to bring some fucking. It's a musical, so this is going to be everything
Oh,
he's
it's a
ever
musical.
done is been amazing from a musicality standpoint. So I'm excited to see what he'll do with this. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
no, no.
speaking of Kendrick Lamar, fight back, goddammit. Kendrick, fight back. Drake is don't let this man do this to you, please. Anyway, um, Paramount has officially greenlit the development of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, The Last Ronin. Guys, this is an iconic comic book run and the TMNT comic run. It's really much more mature, and because of that maturity, the movie will be a live action adaptation of the best-selling comic and aiming for an R rating, which is crazy for a TMNT movie. That's just like built for kids. But this is the first in the franchise thus far. I am so excited. This is probably my most like anticipated movie coming out because this comic run is so iconic. If you haven't read it, guys, just read it. It's really one of the best comic books runs, even Marvel or DC. Like it's so good, and just to have this adapted into live action, a R-rated TMNT movie, I think if done right, this could be a masterpiece. Seriously, what are your thoughts?
I hope you're right. For some reason, I'm not as optimistic about this. And I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure why I'm like hesitant to like love this idea.
That's fair.
Um, but look, I would love to be wrong. I would love to absolutely love this. I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. I mean, I watch pretty much anything they put out anyway. So, I mean, of course, I'm going to watch this. But for some reason, my level of excitement just isn't there yet. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, this when it comes out, when I see more, release a trailer, whatever, it'll this will prove me wrong. So yeah.
Yeah, think TMNT in feudal Japan to kind of give you an idea.
No, I know exactly what this is.
Oh, okay.
I've read the comic.
Oh, you did?
Maybe that's why I'm not excited because I know everything.
Oh,
So
I mean, I know you read comics. That's cool. I know you read that.
yes, I
Okay,
read
cool.
it.
Okay, cool. Nice. Nice.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And also, I like the balance of having this being like potentially rated R for the adults and still having that like Mutant Mayhem series going on as well for the kids, because both audiences can be treated to the greatness
It's
of
all about
Mutant.
the toys.
Right.
Have you ever read the Killing Joke?
Uh, no, but I know the storyline quite well.
Oh, okay.
But I never
Yeah,
actually read
okay.
that comic run. Did you read it?
Did you? Yeah, I did. Which ruined the movie for me, which is where I was
Mm,
going.
okay.
I'm assuming you saw the movie when Mark
Still haven't
Hamill
seen the movie
and
because I
Kevin
still
Conn.
haven't seen the movie.
Oh,
But I know the Batwoman scene on top of the building or whatever, and that pissed people off.
Batwoman. Oh, Batgirl. Yeah, when
Sorry,
she fucked
Batgirl.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. It was weird. I was just like, wait, what? But again, that just brings me to the point where it's just like, this didn't happen in the comic book. What the fuck are they doing? So yeah.
This might be a hot take, but I actually hate one-to-one adaptations when it comes to comic book storylines to live action, because why even do it? Like, if we know everything, like that's why
Exactly.
I love what the Russo brothers did with like Civil War and even Infinity War to an extent, because like that, like you wouldn't have had those genuine fan reactions in the theater if we knew everything beat for beat what was going to happen. And so I don't like one-to-one adaptations when it comes to that kind of stuff. Just me personally, I know a lot of fans do want that. So yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk some trailers real quick. We have the trailer for. If I was the only one that ever watched Monarch, you were the only one that ever watched Blood of Zeus. So season 2 is coming out May 9th of this year. So please give me your thoughts on Blood of Zeus season 2.
That is hilarious because you're 100% right. It feels like, first of all, this show came out like 5 years ago, and like I don't even think I'm exaggerating. This show is so fucking old. I never thought that we would get a season 2. It's so old that I barely remember what happens in season 1. Like, I remember the high points, some of the story beats, but like if you asked me to give you a review, I'd be like, gosh, I don't remember. I say all that to say, I mean, season 2 looks more of the same. I don't even remember the main character's name. I literally don't remember his name. Anyway, yeah, he's back. So cool. Season 2. This fucking show took so long to come out. Like I'm either gonna have to rewatch season 1, which I do remember really enjoying season 1. Like I was surprised, but I don't know. Season 2, it looks like the brothers are going to be teaming up and fighting the larger threat, which is it's always the Titans. It's always the fucking Titans. Jesus Christ. So yeah, let's do it. Season 2, here we come. Let's go.
It's always crazy to me when people feel the need to watch an entire season just to get like a recap. Like, well, guys, you can just I'm not aiming at you, but guys, you can go on YouTube and just like type in Blood of Zeus season 1 recap. I promise you, there's some nerd out there that condensed the video the season into 5 minutes, and he's going through
Yeah.
all the beats for you. So I promise you. So just letting you know that. I think that's from the same studio that made Castlevania, right? Blood of Zeus.
Yes. Yeah.
We have the trailer for season 3 of part 1 of Bridgerton, premiering May 16th. This time, the fat bitch is getting her time to shine, and she will be the love.
What?
So, guys, I fell off Bridgerton season 1 midway through. I know it has a big fan base. So yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised you tagged me in this because neither one of us watched this show. So what is the point?
I thought you did watch it.
You know good and damn well that I do not watch the show. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I watched season 1, which I enjoyed. But once they got rid of the black characters, they got rid of me. So
I heard I think I heard the Queen Charlotte one was really good too.
Yeah, she's black. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So perhaps I should go back, but I'm not. Avi, my wife, she loves this show.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not it was Avi then. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We have the trailer for Pretty Little Liars Summer School, premieres May 9th on Max.
Yeah. You tagged me in this bullshit too. I'm like, what is this?
Well, I watched Pretty Little Liars, and the guy.
Oh, okay.
I said the story before 4,000 times on the pod, but I used to sneak
watch
this show.
Watching in secret.
Like I had a roommate, and so like I used to watch this show so faithfully, and every time he came in the room, I would turn from the TV so fucking quick. He's like, Mondy, what are you watching? Porn. Yeah. So I actually fell off of that show because there's this villain in the show called A that the girls are trying to guess who she is. She's like the fucking Riddler or some shit to these girls, and it got so annoying how they never found out who A was, and so I don't know how it ended, but they are rebooting it. A is back. Fans of Pretty Little Liars, you guys have something new coming for you on May 9th on Max. So yeah, five bitches this time instead of 4. We have the trailer for Transformers 1. This is the animated Transformers movie. We got Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime.
This is animated, is it?
Yeah, it is animated.
This is not animated. This is live action.
Julien, this is animated, bro. Are you trolling me right now?
This is not no 2D animated. This is not Transformers 1 with Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry.
It's CG. It's 3D animation like how Shrek is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
that's not live action.
I know, but to me, animated is like 2D on a paper. I was like, nigga, did you watch the trailer? No, it's not. Sorry.
So, wait, so hold on. No, now you got me on a tangent. So Toy Story is not an animated movie to you?
Yes.
Then why?
But it's a different kind of animation. It's not animation.
Guys in the comments, if you're watching this on YouTube, please destroy him. Anyway, We have the trailer for the animated Transformers movie called Transformers 1, starring Chris Hemsworth as
This is not
Optimus
animated.
Prime, Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron. We got Keegan-Michael Key, Bumblebee, and Scarlett Johansson's playing some other Autobot bitch. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this trailer, guys? I mean, on this trailer, Julien. I hated this trailer. I'm not gonna lie.
You hated it.
I was excited for this movie.
Why?
But I had a tangent I'll go on to later. But
Okay,
please give
no,
me your
I
thoughts.
want to hear you tangent. Who cares what I think? Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I think it's a really cool idea with what they're exploring here in terms of the lore. Like, just basically Megatron
I
and
agree.
Optimus Prime before they were who they were, and just
Yeah.
them kind of coming into their own as Optimus Prime. And so I guess we'll see him at the end of the movie get the leader box. I forgot what it's called. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like that's a very cool idea. But just this trailer looks so fucking kiddie. Like, and maybe it's just me being 30 years old now. Like, but Transformers is never, even the old 80s cartoon, like it was for kids, but it wasn't that like kiddie, was it?
I never watched the Transformers cartoon.
Well, I didn't. I watched the movie, the old movie, a long time ago. Like that's when Optimus Prime died, and that was like a big deal in the 80s or whatever. But anyway, this just looks so kiddie. And Chris Hemsworth, I like the guy a lot. He's like an actor I really enjoy, but to have him come after Peter Cullen, like, what are we doing here? Like, it's just certain things like that. Like, I was very disappointed in the trailer. The comedy didn't hit. The action looked generic. The animation wasn't that blocky style. Didn't really do it for me aesthetically. So yeah, I'm just yeah, I'll check it out for sure. But just,
Nigga said all that to say, yeah, I'll be there opening night, but
it's crazy because
okay.
I've always wanted a Transformers movie set on Cybertron. Like, I've been advocating that for a long time. Like, it would be so cool just to have a movie with no humans on Cybertron, and then finally get it. And this is what we get. It's like, oh, well, we'll see. I could be wrong, guys. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, look, this I guess I had no expectations for this, so I will say again, like I agree that I thought that it was a good idea to go the route of we're gonna figure out who these guys were before they were these iconic characters in Transformers lore. Um, I thought it was weird that they spoiled. I don't know if this is supposed to be a spoiler, but they spoiled the fact that they're going to get their Optimus and all that shit at the end of the movie. That's kind of weird. Like I would have loved to have just seen that. Uh, the voice, yeah. I mean, I just figured that it would just turn into Peter Cullen's voice once he became Optimus Prime.
That would be
Like that.
crazy.
That.
Like, he
No, it wouldn't.
evolved.
Like it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Like he would be going from a child to Optimus, bitch. Like I don't know. I just like I.
So all of a sudden,
That's
he's Chris
that's
Hemsworth. Like, I'm Optimus, mate. To now, you roll out. Like, what? Come on, what are we doing here?
yes, 100%. Like that's 100% what I'm expecting to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry. They cast him as a black Autobot. First of all, first of fucking all, bitch.
Speaking
But
of Brian Tyree Henry, the internet's been having some visceral reactions to him.
revelations.
But I'm like, nigga, I've always watched his interviews, even when he was doing Atlanta. Like, he's always came off as gay to me, which is not a problem if he's gay. But and guys, he has not come out or anything like that. But if you watch the trailer for this, they kind of show him and Chris Hemsworth sitting next to each other. He has like a weave in or some shit, a dread weave. The nigga, I've always thought he was gay. I think I think I think somebody else is gay too. I think Mahershala Ali is gay, but I mean, it's just it's funny to find out people are so like having this. Oh, but he's Paperboy from Atlanta. How can he act like this? Why did he have in dreads? Why did he have in a weave? Guys, a lot of these niggas that we like in movies these are theater kids. Just for some context, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, Brian Tyree
And
Henry,
most theater kids are gay. Sorry.
black Autobot. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, this trailer didn't do anything for me. I don't want to see this. I'm probably not going to see this actually because the last Transformers movie that I got even a modicum of enjoyment from, or at least I thought that I was that bullshit I saw last year.
Rise
And
of
I
the
said
Beast.
then, yeah, I said then that I wasn't going to let them do this to me anymore. So I'm not going to watch this. I'll check your review on Instagram.
But this is a whole different kind of thing, though. It's not. It's
Is
not.
it?
It's not attached to the live action universe. This is
Is
a whole.
it?
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they want you to fucking think.
I guess so. We have the trailer for Hitman, starring Glenn Powell. This is like a Glenn Powell renaissance right now. He's everywhere. Netflix, June 7th. Also starring Adria Arjonia. She was in Andor. I believe the character Bix, and she was in the Morbius movie. She's attractive. But what are your thoughts on this Hitman movie starring Glenn Powell coming to Netflix?
I don't think I saw this trailer. And I didn't see the Shyamalan trailer either, which was annoying.
Oh,
But yeah, I didn't see this one. So tell
okay.
me.
Well, it doesn't look like anything special. I do like Lin Powell enough, I guess. So I'm still on the fence about if I watch this one or not, to be honest. Speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, his trailer is next for Trap. This is about the guy in the concert with his daughter. There's a serial killer loose in the concert. It's revealed in
Yeah,
the
I've heard a
trailer that
lot of
it's him.
people talking about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of M. Night Shyamalan getting ahead of everybody, with his twist, thinking, "Oh, okay, who's the killer going to be?" To kind of reveal that it's him in the trailer is interesting. So maybe there's another twist coming down the line. Shyamalan loves his twist.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the trailer, Shyamalan, bro, I've lost faith in him, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've always said about him is that he has some of the best original ideas in Hollywood. So I'll be there to see if he executes it. But I bet the over that he's not going to be able to execute it well. But
Okay.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see this trailer, but I saw the online reaction to it. A lot of people are saying that it's a great trailer and Shyamalan's back, and you know, of course there's going to be a twist. I'm sure the killer's his daughter. He's protecting the daughter. I'm just like, yeah, yeah. Like you, man, I have been following Shyamalan for a long fucking time, pretty much my entire life. I think. I mean, since The Sixth Sense, maybe even earlier. But bro, like the last few things he's put out have just not been quality, and I'm sick of giving this nigga the benefit of the doubt. I'm just sick of it, especially when it comes to his trailers, because the last trailer I saw that I thought was kind of interesting and good was The Cabin in the Woods or whatever the fuck it was called with Batista and
Knock at
Rupert
the
Grant.
cabin.
Sure, and that was just a complete letdown. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I haven't seen this trailer, and I don't think I'm going to watch it. I think I'm just going to go into the movie blind because I'm going to see the movie. So I think I'm just going to go into it blind and just accept what happens. That way, whatever happens, I can't blame it on, oh, the trailer just gave me everything, or oh, Shyamalan this, Shyamalan. I'm just going to watch the movie, man, and just see what happens. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I haven't seen this yet.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he's always had great trailers for all his movies. Like I said, he has great concepts. All was a great concept. I mean, I thought that was a great trailer. So,
It
and
was a good trailer, actually.
I'm sure you're going to see the trailer for it when you're watching another movie.
Probably.
So, let's talk some reviews. So, I watched one show, which was Fallout, and I watched 4 movies. Did you finish any shows? And I know you watched Civil War, but did you see any other movies besides that?
Damn, I forgot about Civil War. Yeah, no, just Civil War. I was going to go see Abigail, but you said it was ass, so I didn't want to see it.
I did not say that. So you interpreted that how you interpreted it. Okay, well, guys, I will weave in the Civil War interview, so I'm not just rambling the whole time. But first, I'll talk about Fallout. Fallout is a new show now streaming on Prime Video. This was my first introduction into the world of Fallout. I never played the games at all. I've heard of them my whole life. We are now like in like a renaissance, I guess, of like video game to live action adaptations with shows like Twisted Metal, The Witcher, The Last of Us, Halo, and I think this is making that renaissance trend in the right direction. To be honest, it's got a pretty good cast in the lead. We have Ella Purnell; she's very likable. We have this guy named Aaron Clifton Moten, who I could have swore was Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son, but he's not. He looks just like him. We have Walton Goggins is such an underrated actor in Hollywood, in my opinion. I'm so glad he got a role of this magnitude. And Moses Arias, for all my Hannah Montana fans, Rico, he's back. I know he had some troubles in like his personal life. It looks like he's like cleaned up a little bit. He's back on the up and up. It seems like so. It was really good seeing him again as well. With this show, I mean, the internet has been loving this show. I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. I think what this show accomplished the best, in my opinion, was just the balance between like a world that's like so brutal, like it's about blood and guts everywhere, every episode, but also very, very fun as well. It's a very fun and brutal world, which is a very hard thing to balance sometimes when you're making a show. I thought it had some very interesting mysteries throughout the show. Like there were things that are kind of brought up in our episode 1 or 2, and I'm like, nah, that's an interesting riddle or mystery that kind of don't pay off until like the very last episode. And I thought they had very good payoff to those mysteries and to those riddles and stuff like that. Because the world, like I said, my first introduction, people who played the game probably already knew what was going on, but I was like totally lost in a good way. Like I'm like, what's going on? It was kind of intriguing to me. Um, I did not expect the themes of capitalism versus communism in a show like this, but I think very integral to the show. It added much more to the show as well. And my favorite theme of the show is basically like challenging your belief system. We have 3 main characters in the show. We have Lucy, Maximus, and the Ghoul, played by Walton Goggins. And all 3 of those characters basically have to challenge what they grew up in, what they were raised in, and their beliefs, and kind of go outside to see if there's other things that can kind of challenge that and make maybe they're a better way to live life. And I think they all did it in very different ways, but I think it really all connected at the end in a very interesting way. Definitely going to be a season 2 based on how it ended. Interesting enough too, the sales for the last game that came out, Fallout 4, which came out like 8 years ago, I believe, have rose 7,500% since the TV series was released. So people are obviously watching the show, liking it, and having to either revisit the game or just play the game for the first time, which I think is really, really cool when, stuff can do that. So I gave the show a B. I think it's a good show. I am looking forward to the next season of Fallout.
Cool.
Next movie review I'll go ahead and do Abigail. Abigail is a new movie from the Radio Silence Productions company, which made movies like Scream 5 and Scream 6. They made Ready or Not with Samara Weaving. This is like our biannual vampire release that we get every year in the theaters these days. So this is the first one of 2024. Pretty stacked cast of faces that may not be super big, but people that you definitely have recognized before. Like we have in the lead, we have Melissa Barrera. We got Dan Stevens, who was just in Kong versus or Kong X Godzilla, whatever. Catherine Newton, who I'm still not sold on. Angus Cloud, this is his last role. Rest in peace. The movie is dedicated to him at the very end. We got Giancarlo Esposito and others. And the girl who plays Abigail herself, her name is Alicia Weir. She was like one of the best parts of the movie. She is outstanding for a child actor. Really, really good energy there. Just fun. She seems very like toned as an actor as well. Like I was like, wow, she's a really good kid actor. So I thought the movie kind of banked on her being good, and she was really good in the movie. I went into this movie just wanting to have fun, to be honest, because I come on, like a ballerina vampire, like what? I don't want a fucking Oscar-winning movie, obviously, but I had some fun in spots, but the movie spent way too long in that first act, toying with the audience, like how Abigail toyed with her prey in the movie. Basically, like toying with us, like what is Abigail? Like who is this little girl? Like the trailer maybe shouldn't have gave away what she was. Maybe that'd be a crazy reveal if we're like, okay, a movie about these people who intrude into this house and this little girl's held ransom. Oh, she's a fucking vampire. Oh shit! But the movie spent like the first 40 minutes of the movie, like 30 minutes, maybe like, okay, what's Abigail? Is she like what is she? Is she just an ordinary girl? Like, nigga, the trailer, we know what she is. So let's kick into high gear quicker than that. And I thought, that was kind of a misstep in my opinion. But once things get popping, we find out she's a vampire. There's some fun to be had. I think I'll say this about Abigail. I feel like newcomers to the vampire movies, to vampire flicks, will be satisfied and they'll have a lot of fun with this movie. A lot of blood, a lot of gore. There's some laughs here and there. But I think like if you're like a seasoned, vampire enthusiast like myself, and I assume like yourself, Julien, it will be nothing new here at all. You know? And so, like I said, you can have some fun, you can have some laughs, but nothing new for people who have watched a lot of vampire content. From a lore standpoint, from blood standpoint, from plot standpoint, you've seen it before. And so the internet has been having a good time with this movie. I think it's a lot of kids who just haven't been that exposed. That's just my theory on it. So I gave the movie a C. I think it's average, but I went to an early screening of this movie actually. Like I went to like a Wednesday screening, and people were just having a blast in my theater. Like they were clapping, they were screaming, they were laughing, and so it's made for somebody. I'll say that. But
Okay.
but yeah, that's my
Cool.
review. Next review I want to do is Civil War. This is the new Alex Garland movie, guys. He's made films that I love with A24. He's like their golden boy director. Movies like Ex Machina, which is really great. Annihilation with Natalie Portman, really great. What are your thoughts on Civil War, the newest movie, the most expensive movie by A24 that's now out?
Yeah, Civil War. I feel like the marketing for this film kind of led me to believe that this is going to be something different than what it actually ended up being. And I think that was to the film's detriment ultimately. Um, by the time that the movie was over, I was just kind of disappointed. I think that this movie has a point, like it has an agenda. And that agenda is to show you that war is really fucking gruesome. It's hard. It's brutal. It is like the worst you'll ever see humans. But I d- I didn't come here to see that. This is gonna sound crazy, but like I don't know. I just thought that it was going to be something different. I thought that they were going to kind of get into the why and the how instead of just like this is what it is. Um, Once I kind of realized that, which it took me a little while to realize that it was just gonna go. I was kind of like, whatever, okay. And I tried to enjoy the scenes that you were supposed to, but it was just tough. Like a lot of it just a lot of it kind of just happened. Like there's like this movie just goes at some points, which that's not necessarily a bad thing in most aspects, but when you're kind of sitting and waiting for the why or the how, and then it just happens, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, it's over. Then at that point, you're kind of just like, okay, well, maybe this just wasn't for me. Maybe some people may enjoy this other than I would, but it was great to see Kirsten Dunst back, but I don't know. Ultimately, I didn't really enjoy this. I wouldn't go see this again. I wouldn't even recommend this to people, honestly. I honestly, if somebody's like, man, I'm thinking about going to see Civil War, I'm like, okay, well, before you do, you need to know that this is what this movie is, because I feel like the marketing set this up to be something completely different than what it actually was. And look, being lied to isn't always a bad thing, because I'm not saying that I want to know everything. Like I would have loved to have gone in and it'd be like a fresh surprise, but it just wasn't. Like it was just the opposite. It was just like, oh, you hear about how um the nigga from Like Mike, he wasn't even supposed to be in it, and his scene, like they were like, hey man, you look like you can do this, do it. Did it in a week. Cool. Who yeah. Ultimately, this was for me, man. I didn't enjoy this. I gave it a C. This was just an average film. I expected more, to be honest. Maybe I shouldn't have, but yeah, I didn't really enjoy this at all.
All right, cool. So as you said, that nigga from Like Mike, his name is Jesse Plemons, a real life husband of the star of the movie Kirsten Dunst. As well, we have Stephen McKinley Henderson, who you guys might recognize from Dune Part One and Fences with Denzel, possibly playing a magical Negro trope in the film. That's another conversation, but yeah, so he's in
Possibly,
there.
huh?
Yeah, like you said, the marketing was a little misleading. First of all, I enjoyed the movie. First of all, but I thought, based on the marketing, that the story would be a sprawling kind of epic war story across the United States, and like you said, the Western forces versus the Florida states or whatever. But it's more so a very much so just contained story, and I accepted that early on in the movie. I was like, okay, so this is something different. I think what the movie tries to explore the most is basically like the moral gray area that journalists, like people who do like a war photojournalists, have to like operate in for efficiency, because you have to kind of be void of humanity to kind of do that job. Like you can't really pick a side, and it really kind of just takes a certain kind of person to do that kind of job and to have to operate in that moral gray area. Or even you could argue maybe it's not even morally gray. Maybe they're just bad people because they just chase the adrenaline, and they are just watching people get subjugated to these horrors and just wanting the best shot or the best quote ever. I thought that was an interesting thing that to explore for a movie. It's been done before. Like Black Mirror had did it in an episode in the newest season called Maisie Day with Zazie Beetz. We saw it in Nope with the character Michael Wincott, who just wanted the perfect shot and all the lengths that he'll go to get that perfect shot. We've seen this kind of theme done before. And I did think that Alex Garland, director, did bring enough of his own flair to that theme for this movie to be warranted. Overall, man, I think it had some very, very immersive just war sequences and combat sequences. Like the sound design was like boom, boom, boom. Like every bullet that sprayed, you felt that bullet hit. Like that last 20 minutes of the end or last 30-minute sequence when they're in Washington D.C., I felt like I was in the middle of the damn street. Like that was just some really immersive stuff. And so I give Alex Garland a lot of credit for that, because all of his movies before this movie have been very like kind of like small scale indie kind of stuff. And so I want to see him do bigger films, even though he has announced he's retired because he doesn't love filmmaking anymore or some bullshit. But anyway, overall, I ended up giving the film a B. I think it's a good film for me personally. It opens up with 27.5 million domestically, making it A24 its first ever film to be number one at the domestic box office, which is interesting. And it's the highest grossing weekend ever for an A24 film, which is not surprising considering its budget. So and stuff like that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of it's like it was marketed like you said, like just a war movie on purpose, I think, to get those kind of numbers to come in. But if you know what A24 is, then you should have known something was going on in your back pocket. Like, nah, they wouldn't do that. So overall, like I said, guys, it takes a certain kind of audience member to enjoy this movie. I think so for sure, but I don't think it's bad by any means. I think it's just marketed, like you said, differently. Like how Monkey Man was. Like it's not a John Wick movie. It's something else, you know. And so, yeah. Next review, guys, is for the Ministry of Ungentimately Warfare, which is now out. This is the new Guy Ritchie film. Guy Ritchie might be the busiest director in Hollywood right now. Every year, this nigga has something coming out. Every year, he has something, and I think his next one he's doing right now with like a similar cast with Henry Cavill coming back again, Isaac Gonzalez. Um, when I first heard of this movie, I was like, "Oh no, not another World War II movie." I think I expressed that on the pod, but actually, it's based on a pretty cool, true story. And in true Guy Ritchie fashion, he loves assembling a team full of these quippy, badass men, and that's definitely what we get here. Henry Cavill is really good as the lead here. I feel like Henry Cavill early in his career was like reduced to just being a pretty boy who was like stoic, and then they were like, "Hey, don't talk, just look pretty on screen." And now that he's getting older, he's kind of tapped into his like natural charisma that he has, and he's like very kind of like quirky at times. And so I like that about Henry Cavill now that he's tapping into that side of himself. We got Alan Richardson, who obviously the Reacher. He's a fucking monster, man. This dude has muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. Like he made Henry Cavill look small compared to like next to him. I was like, oh my god. We got Isaac Gonzalez. We got Henry Golding, Alex Pettyfer from I Am Number 4. It's so good seeing him on screen every time I get to see him. Me and Julien are the only ones who ever seen the movie, whatever.
Apparently so.
My biggest complaint with the movie, guys, is that I just we spent more time as the audience with this team of these wacky individuals because they're all so unique and so like, but like the movie just kind of speeds through that and gives us other things that we don't really want to see or really care about, and so everyone in this movie was kind of reduced to just being this suave like badass, that just always knows what to say, always is in complete control of every situation that they're in, and so when you have those kind of characters, like there's not really that much stakes or that much kind of like tension in the movie because like these are just badass guys who are going to always say the right thing and always get away. Like you need some kind of humanity to your built into your characters, which Guy Ritchie's known for that, having those kind of characters in his movies anyway. But as a result, like I said, I just felt a lack of like stakes, and so it's not one of Ritchie's best films at the end of the day. It's like a diet Inglorious Bastards. I heard somebody say that on TikTok, which is very, very funny. And so I give the Ministry of Ungentimately Warfare, I give it a B minus. It's not one of his worst, but it's not one of his best for sure either. So yeah. Last review here, guys, is for Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, which is now playing on Netflix, now streaming on Netflix. You haven't seen this, I assume, obviously, but guys, Part 1 of this movie came out in December of last year. For context, I'm a big Zack Snyder guy. He's my guy. I have defended this man so many times with strangers, family, friends, why he's a good director.
Strangers is crazy.
Yeah, seriously, strangers. And guys, I hated Part 1 of Rebel Moon. I thought it was ass. I was so disappointed because like Netflix gave him the keys. They said, hey, Zack Snyder, what you need? Budget? We got you. What you want? Full creative control? We got you. And so I expected more of the same with this movie, Part 2, and that's what I got exactly. And it's so funny. Like I watch these movies in real time, and it kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, these movies have the exact same plot as A Bug's Life from Pixar. Like basically, I know it sounds crazy, but listen, these bullies come down to this small village and they want grain. In A Bug's Life, it was actually like grain. In Rebel Moon, it's still like literally they want grain, and then they fly off and say, "Hey, we want this amount of grain in X amount of days, and we'll come back, and it better be here." And then the leader of this small village goes out and recruits these warriors, brings them back to fight the bullies, and the bullies come back, and there's a big battle. That's A Bug's Life. That's Rebel Moon. And I've come to the conclusion that Zack Snyder just is not good at creating his own world. He's very good at like adapting like a 300 novel or like a Frank Miller's The Dark Knight or like Man of Steel. Like he's good at adapting certain comic book storylines and making it like to a full fleshed out thing. Watchmen, for example. But when it comes to making his own world, it's just not there. It's got some cool things in the lore, but the execution is beyond like just so derivative in these movies. Like it has every single war movie trope that you could ever think of built into this movie. The first half of this movie is basically just an hour of them prepping for this big battle, and then the back half of the movie is just them having this big battle for an hour straight. And guys, an hour of big booms and lasers going pew 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 got exhausting really really quick. Don't get me wrong. Other movies have had a very similar kind of formula where the first half is built up and the second half is go, go, go. But unlike this movie, those movies have characters that you actually care about, like Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. Like, I cared about Indiana Jones. I cared about Short Round. I don't give a damn about bro. There's not a single character in this movie I give a fuck about. If all of them died at the end, I'd be like, okay, well, it happened.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Zack Snyder plans to release 6 of these movies, and that sounds like a threat at this point. And it's so sad because like now all those people who I've defended against Zack Snyder for my entire life are gonna be like, I told you he was ass. I told you. And so thank you, Zack Snyder, for not helping make my argument why you're actually talented. So sorry to report that.
So
I gave it a
here's
C
the real
minus.
question. Here's the real question. So you've been burned twice in
Yes.
this universe on these movies.
I have, yes.
So how many more of these are you going to continue to watch?
Every single one.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Every single one of these shits. Let's talk some DC and Marvel news. Speaking of Zack Snyder confirms that Leonardo DiCaprio was actually in talks to play Lex Luthor in the DCEU in BVS. Could you have seen it? Obviously, I assume it'd be better than what Jesse Eisenberg gave us, but could you think DiCaprio could have gave us a good Lex Luthor?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I could have seen it. I wouldn't have wanted to see it, especially as vocal as he's been about the superhero genre.
Right.
And that's probably why, because the nigga didn't get his part. But yeah, I mean,
hold on. Just to be clear, I'm sure if DiCaprio really wanted that role, I don't think he's auditioned since the fucking 90s. So he can get any role he wants. I'm sure. I'm sure he's the one that backed out.
Clearly, he fucking can't. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Ultimately, yeah. Could he have done it? If Jesse Eisenberg did what the fuck he did, then DiCaprio would have done it.
If DiCaprio wanted to play T'Challa, the role is his, nigga.
You're just speaking. You're just talking right now. That's fine. Yeah. I said what I said.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he could have pulled it off, but whatever. Also, Zack Snyder says that he's open to finishing his Justice League trilogy, like the first one that came out, or the Snyder cut, in animated form. He says, yeah, absolutely, that'd be fun. That'd be so cool to do. Would you want to see the Snyder cut once again brought back into life, but this time in animated form, and get that dark side story that was teased at the end?
I guess. I mean, sure. I guess. I mean, everybody has to return though. Henry Cavill has to voice Superman. Yeah. Then yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Look, he ain't do nothing to me. She, he, them, whatever the fuck that nigga go by. Yeah. Yeah. Bring them all back. All of them. Victor Stone, bring them back.
Yeah, I'd be here for that shit too. Fun fact: Janet Jackson, Angela Bassett, and Mariah Carey auditioned for the role of Storm in the 2000 X-Men movie, which obviously went to Halle Berry at the end of the day. I think Angela Bassett would have fucking destroyed that role. I think we'd be like, Halle who? I mean, because I love Halle Berry, don't get me wrong, but first she has the look, she has the fierceness, the stoicness, the aura, as the kids say, and she's a better actress in my opinion. I think she would be an amazing fucking Storm. But Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, what the fuck?
It's a good thing it really didn't go to Angela Bassett, because it's not like they gave Halle Berry Storm much to do anyway.
True.
Aside from roll her fucking eyes in the back of her head every now and then.
Do you know what happens to a toad that gets struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Bro, it's so crazy. Like, as more time passes, the more I realized how bad those X-Men movies were. Like, in terms of how they treated certain characters.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say
the movies, the movies as a whole, they're always going to hold a special place in my heart, just because those were some of the first movies I've ever seen in movie theaters. Those are some of like my earliest memories, going to the movies with my mom, going to see X-Men. But bro, like, things are just so much better now for so many characters, and it's just like, why couldn't Cyclops be important at all in the original trilogy? Why couldn't Storm be important at all? Like, it's just so funny, like how they relegated characters. Even like, I'm gonna sound like Mike, but like, what about fucking Sabretooth, man? Sabretooth, like, like there's so many characters that are interesting. And look, I get it. Like, in a big Hollywood budget with an ensemble, you can't focus on everybody.
The very early days of superhero films in general. So like, there wasn't even a blueprint for them to go off of.
Yes. But it's just crazy to see. I mean, like 20 years later, man, like things are just so much better for so many characters. And I'm really loving X-Men 97. I still have a really big fucking problem with it, but I'm not going to voice that problem until I've seen all of the episodes. But like, X-Men 97 is at least trying to give most characters something to do. They're trying. And it feels like those early X-Men films just didn't really try that hard. But whatever. I don't know why I just went off on that tangent. I'm sorry. But yeah, Halle Berry, all the rest of them, cool. Halle Berry won.
Speaking of X-Men 97, directors say that they want to make an animated film based on the movie. It says it feels like we're already making movie-level animation and events, but just to have that budget and time, then to make a full feature and kind of do that Spider-Man or Spider-Verse thing would be really, really cool. Or what the TMNT Turtles did would be cool. Would you be here for an X-Men 97 style movie?
Yeah, I mean, with the way it's going now, absolutely. I would love it. I think it would be great. I would absolutely love it.
All right, great feedback there. All right, let's talk about some tidbitty things, I guess. J.K. Rowling says that she won't ever forgive Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson for publicly criticizing her transgender comments. And I honestly, I get it. I'm not mad at that statement, but it was just so funny seeing the internet being like Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe like we don't give a fuck. But
Why should they?
yeah, exactly. But I see both sides, to be honest. But what are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you, I see both sides. I mean, she made them what they are. They literally have wealth and status because of her. And I guess the saying is "Don't bite the hand that feeds you," whatever. But I mean, on their side, bitch, we did that shit 10 years ago. We're established. We've done other things, and look, at the end of the day, we have our own thoughts and opinions, and we don't agree with what you're saying. So I understand both sides.
Donald Glover reveals he is developing a movie with the final Childish Gambino album as the soundtrack. He is also working on an anime with Zach Fox from Abbott Elementary, and also he's a rapper as well. Would you be here for a movie with a Childish Gambino soundtrack made by Donald Glover? That's a very super specific question. But,
Yeah.
would you?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, honestly, man, I'm not sure how big of a fan of Donald Glover I actually am.
Donald Glover or
So
Childish or both entities?
both entities, I guess. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm really not that big of a fan of him. So maybe I won't see this actually. The anime, maybe. But yeah, like this whole Gambino Donald Glover crossover, they're the same person. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
The Witcher will end with season 5 on Netflix. Season 4 has already begun filming with Liam Hemsworth replacing Henry Cavill as Geralt. I know you don't watch The Witcher, but Witcher fans, this might be for the best. I mean, honestly, I think it should. Henry Cavill is so good as Geralt. Like, it's gonna be so hard for Liam Hemsworth. I feel bad for Liam Hemsworth because he's gonna get so much flack probably just off the rip. But if he proves us wrong, sure. But let's go ahead and wrap this shit up as I say, because what are we doing here? Disney Plus is planning to introduce channels onto its service. They will function the same as old school TV channels with different channels for different genres, like Marvel Channel, Star Wars Channel. Cable is inevitable. Cable is back.
Mm-hmm.
As Thanos said, all that and look where it's brought you. Right back to me. What are your thoughts on Disney Plus having channels?
I don't know. I'm still trying to decide if it's a good idea or not. Because I mean, on the surface level, it sounds like they're just going to have like live content for each one of these things at all times. So if you want, you can just turn on Disney Plus. If you, like you said, like if you want to watch some Marvel shit, they might have Ant-Man playing, they might have Avengers playing. If you want to watch National Geographic, they might have something. I mean, like
But
it
in
it could
2024,
be.
how is that better than just going to the title that you want to see and pick out? If you want to
Well,
be spontaneous,
if it's still $9.99, I mean that's you have what 30 channels available instead of just I don't know one or two options. Sure, like I'm sure the option to pick what you want to watch is still going to be there.
I know, yeah.
But they'll have like a live function too. So, like I said, like I'm still undecided whether this is a good idea or not. I think my baseline is when the WWE Network released all those years ago, they had live content and then they had stuff that you could pick that you want to watch. Like if you wanted to watch WrestleMania 27 or whatever, like you could go ahead and watch it. Sure. If not, then they would have live programming on, and it was cool. I liked it, but maybe Disney Plus is going to follow a different formula. I don't know. We'll see.
Kind of reminds me how some porn sites have channels where you can go like the Ebony channel, or you can go like the BBC channel or some shit like that, and then you can just kind of flick through, All right.
All right. Okay.
Pixar has assembled a crew
Got
of
it.
9 teenage girls who
Nigga
came.
just admitted to typing in BBC. That's
No, I said it's one of the channel options.
That's crazy.
I didn't say I watched it. I said it's one of the channel options.
Nigga Mondy said he's trying to see some BBC.
Well, I'm just saying, like the BBC gets the like the better reaction out of the girls. But anyway, the Pixar has assembled a crew. So it's not for the BBC itself. But anyway, look.
Yo.
Hello.
I'm locked in. Come on, man.
So regarding Inside Out 2, which is coming out, Pixar assembled a crew of 9 teenage girls to come to the studio every 4 months and give them notes on Riley, who's the main character, his emotions, to give her a more authentic. I think that's just a really cool tidbit. Like, they're actually getting actual teenage girls to see how a teenage girl would act in this movie. So a lot of times I feel like, people are just so far removed, these adult animators, that it's like, is that really how a kid would act? So hopefully I'm looking forward to some real authenticity here with Inside Out 2. Any thoughts on that?
No thoughts. Who gives a fuck?
And did you watch and enjoy Inside Out 1?
Did not watch.
Okay, it's pretty good actually. I think you. I don't know. I don't know what you like these days. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the creator, which is the animated Scott Pilgrim's continuation, which came out on Netflix last year, says that Netflix releasing all episodes at once is the dumbest shit ever. There's literally no upside. Imagine if the whole season of X-Men 97 was out, which I think is a really cool quote. I mean, a really good quote. I mean, because like remember when episode 5 of X-Men 97 came out, when we were all talking about Gambit and how cool that scene was? Like, if that just came out all at once, would we have time for a week to kind of delve into the episode and appreciate that episode for what it was? Even though I don't think Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is as good as X-Men 97, I think it's a really good show still. I think that he's right, man. As a creator, I'd be pissed off too if my creation was just meant to consume all at once instead of giving my audience time to react and receive it in real time. So, any thoughts on that?
It's so interesting because I think the only upside is the Twitter interaction. Like I don't think that there's any other upside than everybody watching a show at a certain time. It's just like when Game of Thrones or when Euphoria, like,
or even talking about it in real life,
or The Idol. Yeah, right. Like that like immediate interaction after is like the only positive. But I feel like I've had this debate in my mind for a few years where it's just like, do I want everything all at once? Pause. Jesus Christ.
Oh no, did he?
Or do I want to wait the week to week? And I mean, really, it just depends on the show. Like for Game of Thrones, even though I would have loved to just consumed it all at once because it's so good, I don't want to wait. I enjoyed the interactions. Honestly, not enough to just sit there and talk about it. Like I would have preferred it just come out and let me just watch it. And I feel the same way with X-Men 97. I don't like waiting week to week. Like I don't care enough to talk about the episodes with you guys. I'm sorry. I just want to consume it. We could talk about it after. But it's so interesting. Like something like, and I always go back to One Piece. Like something like One Piece, waiting week to week is like it's absolute torture. Like I can't stand it. Like it's honestly it's worse week to week because sometimes either the episodes are slow or they're bogged down or just so much happens and you're just like, why would they stop here? So yeah, I guess I'm a wait, what am I? I'm not a boomer. Boomers are used to waiting week to week, but yeah, I guess I'm in the minority. I just give it all to me. Let me decide if I want to watch it or not. Yeah, I don't care about talking week to week with you guys. I just don't. That doesn't fulfill me. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where I land. Sorry.
That's cool. I disagree. I think that shows have so much more staying power and relevancy once they're spread out like that. I do agree with you that some shows are better consumed in a binge format, but from the creator standpoint, I think it's always benefits them to have the show spaced out like that, to just have that staying power and to have it be on people's minds.
100%.
Giancarlo Esposito says that before he was cast as Gus Fring, and of course the Breaking Bad series, he was severely broke and contemplated arranging his own murder to ensure that his children would receive life insurance money. The quote was that the life at the end of the tunnel was Breaking Bad, and him getting that role as Gus. That's just crazy to me. Think about to kill himself for life insurance money. Like I said, these actors are theater kids. Is he
I'm
dramatic?
about to say, like,
Possibly,
come on now.
but it's an inkling. It could be sure that he's not being dramatic here, and if not, we could have lost the legend. So, yeah, this is
Yeah,
great. And
sorry.
he was already a working actor guy. Like he wasn't just new on the scene. Like he had been around for a minute. But actors get work so sparingly sometimes that it really just their whole way of life can be destroyed or made by one role. So, yeah, that's just really crazy news, man. Any thoughts on that news?
I don't believe this at all. That's my thought. I'm sorry. I don't believe this at all.
Okay.
But okay, sure. This is one of the things like it's a great story to tell, but nigga, that definitely is not true. Like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
50 Cent has just launched his 956,000 square feet film studio, which is now the second biggest black-owned production studio in the world, behind Tyler Perry Studios, of course. It is titled G Unit Studios. It is located in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is huge. People were saying he's the first black male to do this. They can shut
We gotta leave Tyler Perry alone, man.
Oh, but seriously, this is actually a big fucking deal because, like, bro, the amount of money that you can make off just films renting out your lot or your fucking space is gonna just accumulate so crazy. And to have a black man like this, 50 Cent's always been so like just forward thinking and so business minded. This is a great idea. Just buy up all this land and hopefully build it out as like to a studio. That's just I commend him.
I agree, man. This is good for 50 Cent and the crack universe, as you love to call it. So yeah, I mean, hopefully this can help continue the generational wealth. So shout out to 50 Cent.
Yeah, but the real money comes in when when a movie like an A24 film or like a fucking Lionsgate movie wants to come in and say, "Hey, can we film on your lot?" Like that's when the real money starts pouring in. So I'm happy for him. Some castings real quick. Keanu Reeves has been casted as Shadow in Sonic 3. We've been wondering who was going to be Shadow for a long time. I like the casting. I don't think you do, based on what you said on Twitter. But what are your thoughts?
I just don't think that Keanu Reeves can do anything now aside from be John Wick. And I don't want John Wick to be Shadow, but then again, maybe it's perfect and I just don't see it. Like,
Have you seen his performance as Duke, Deuce or something like that in the Toy Story 4 movie? When he showed like more personality, he was a little toy.
yeah,
Like,
he was, yeah, he was John Wick.
he was not John Wick at all. That was a totally different kind of role.
You're talking about where he was like he was like a stunt double, right?
Yeah. Or like he was like a toy that was like shot out of a cannon. He had all that personality that like some of the funniest lines in the movie.
Yeah, he was John Wick. So yeah,
he
like I
was.
said, yeah, this, but look again, I promise you, if you go back and look at my record of like reacting to an announcement of somebody being cast and that person actually being good, it is like it is so poor. Like I'm terrible at it. So I guess we're about to see an all-timer from Keanu Reeves as Shadow. So I'm sure once I see it in theaters, I'll be like, man, I was so wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong. Because I don't like it. I don't see it. So that means he's going to be amazing. I'm pretty sure, again, the only time I've ever been right was Jesse Eisenberg. That's the only time where I was like, this is going to fucking suck. And it fucking sucked. So, okay, let's hope this is not the Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor he's referring to. Last casting
Yes.
here, guys, is Leonardo DiCaprio has been cast as Frank Sinatra in a biopic directed by Martin Scorsese.
Boo.
Jennifer Lawrence will star as his second wife, Ava Gardner.
Boo.
I think I see the look as DiCaprio is getting older. I can see him looking like Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra's music, courtesy of
Do
my
you?
mother. He makes great music. But yeah, I can see it. I'm just glad Scorsese's not doing a fucking mob movie. So
Are you sure this isn't a mob movie, buddy?
it probably will
Do
be.
you know what Frank Sinatra was doing?
I'm about to say it probably will be like a backdoor mob movie at the end of the day.
Yeah, it 100% is.
Scorsese, I got him.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra. Yeah. I'm not watching this shit, Monty. I'm sorry. I don't know how many Frank Sinatra things there are, but especially living out here in Vegas where he's so popular. I'm sick of fucking Frank Sinatra, and I'm sick of the mob. This is 100% gonna have the mob in it, by the way. Like I'm good, bro. Like I'm super good. So you have fun with this.
I will. Godzilla Minus One is releasing on Amazon Prime Video in Japan. Oh shit, in Japan. I don't know why I said in Japan. I don't know why you put this in my notes. I thought it was going to be releasing in the U.S., but it's coming to Japan on May 3rd. Anyway, a Cat Williams special is on Netflix, dropping on May 4th, Star Wars Day. So I'm excited to
Another
see
live
this.
event.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this. So hopefully Cat Williams can still bring it, because his latest cinema I saw like a year or two ago, I was not happy with it. I thought it was kind of ass. And anyway, last bit of news here, guys. I'm gonna leave y'all with Twitter/X is rumored to be reviving Vine. Elon Musk even tweeted this himself. Of course, Twitter owned Vine. I think if TikTok ends up shutting down, this would be a perfect opportunity for them to slide right in there, take that spot, or shit, even just be a fucking competitor to TikTok, because TikTok has been shadow banning me for years. Fuck you, TikTok. I will be on Vine with my movie reviews. But guys,
With 6 seconds.
No, I'm sure that they're going to expand it out now. There's no way you can do 6-second Vines anymore. Like, it's
That's
gonna
the
be,
point of Vine.
No, I think Vine is going to be like a TikTok counterpart now. Like, it's going to be just like TikTok, in my opinion. So, but what are your thoughts?
If they bring it back, it has to be the same thing.
No,
like,
I can't. No,
I mean, sure, like they can add a feature or two, but the entire point of Vine was the 6-second video, so they can't bring it back. I mean, like, why would you use Vine over Instagram Reels? You can just do that.
because no one likes using the fucking Instagram Reels. People always complain about this shit anyway. And I think Vine was only 6 seconds because that was like the capacity of what they could do at the time. Like, remember when like TikTok first came out, you couldn't do a video longer than I believe 15 seconds, something like 30 seconds, something like that. And now you can do 10-minute videos. So I think just as technology is improving, people are just able to do longer form videos on those kind of platforms anyway. So if Vine is just 6 seconds again, that's a total misstep, and that's gonna be ass. Like, nigga, who wants to make 6 seconds videos again? Like, no, it was cool for that era, you know. But that's just my
I
opinion.
thought it brought out people's creativity, but whatever. Yeah, look, I mean, look, ultimately, like you, if TikTok does end up getting banned here in the US, then Vine needs to come back because I need something to scroll through at night when I can't sleep at 2 a.m. So
Yeah, same. Guys, that wraps it up.
Mondy, I appreciate it, man. Monster pod today.
Monster.
Yeah, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go see Abigail, and go see Rebel Moon on Netflix. And what was the other one? The Ungentimately Warfare.
Force Julien to watch to finish Legend of Korra and get to Kuvera in season 4.
Yeah, you niggas don't have no power over me. I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.